Standing in the shower washing my hair, I was instantly brought back to a time when I was in New York with my cousins on vacation. I didn't understand where that memory was coming from until I realized that it was the smell of my shampoo that brought me back in time. You know, our memory actually is linked with smell directly. Deep within our nasal cavity, we have what's called the olfactory epithelium, which contains millions of neurons that actually attach to chemical vapors. Those vapors send these signals to the olfactory nerve, and the olfactory nerve travels it to the olfactory bulb. And the olfactory bulb is where we actually link our nose to our brain. In our brain, we have where we store memory, and right next to it is where we store our smell. That is how the sense of smell and memory can be so intertwined. And when it does, it can actually omit specific emotions or bring us back to a specific memory. Sometimes, though, smells might not necessarily bring us back in time to a memory. However, it'll still emit that specific emotion, such as coffee. Coffee we encounter more on an everyday basis, and we usually link it to some type of emotion as opposed to a specific memory. You know, sometimes we smell the ocean air when we're driving by before we actually see the ocean. Or we can smell a cigarette before we actually see someone smoking. That's because our sense of smell is usually our first response to stimuli. And that may be because of survival instincts. If we smell rotten food and we eat it and become very sick, we'll remember to not eat that food again. The smell of that rotten food is what is going to keep us from getting sick in the future. Smell also has a major role in how we taste our food. Our tongue is only responsible for bitter, sweet, sour, and salt. It is actually the smell that gives our food flavor. The chemical vapors go through the back of our nasal cavity, and the aroma actually gives it the flavor. I did an experiment with my husband one time, and I asked him to plug his nose and close his eyes. I gave him some Skittles and asked him what it tasted like. He said, "It's sweet," and that was about it. I then told him to unplug his nose, and he was overwhelmed by the taste of orange. That is because of the vapors and the aroma giving him his food, his flavor. You know, advertising has become a very big part of using smell in certain industries, such as a perfume industry. And when you're walking in the mall and you walk by a store, certain stores have very specific smells for their branding, such as Williams-Sonoma. They're always cooking in there, and you walk by and you smell the food, and you want to go in there and you want to purchase things, and you want to go home and you want to cook. Or Abercrombie and Fitch. You walk by and the smell is intoxicating. It makes you want to go into the store just to smell more of it. You know, when you walk into a store and you're purchasing a candle, you don't buy the candle because it says Fall Harvest on it. You buy it because it takes you back in time to a moment that maybe you were in the kitchen with your mother as a child baking pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. A lot of times smells don't necessarily have a label to it, but might bring you to a certain time, and that's what you link it to, and that's what you would describe it as. You know, one day I was out of the blue, got this overwhelming smell, and I was instantly brought back to kindergarten. If I were to describe the smell, I couldn't tell you what the smell was. I would actually describe it as my kindergarten classroom. You know, smell is all around us, and we experience smells every day, all day long. So next time you're out at the mall, pay attention to those smells around you. Or maybe if you're at the zoo with your family, or if you're in the pool, think about the type of emotions that maybe those smells are creating. Or maybe those smells will actually bring you back into time at a specific time when maybe you haven't even remembered that in years. You'd be surprised at where your nose may take you.